Welcome to CoinGeek Backstage. This is Nidhi Arora. I'm here with Dr. Eswar Prasad, the author of the book, The Future of Money, and a renowned economist. How are you doing today, Eswar?
I'm doing well, Nidhi. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I know this is your first time at CoinGeek New York conference. How has your experience been so far?
It's been very exciting to see the amount of excitement there is around Bitcoin and blockchain technologies. I usually hang out in the world of academics and central bankers, and there are concerns about Bitcoin and the underlying technology. There is a lot of conservative views about how fast these technologies might move, the risks that they might entail. But here I hear a lot more about the opportunities, the possibilities, so it is quite invigorating.
We know that you released your new book, The Future of Money, and it is about digital currencies and blockchain technology. So how do you relate or connect your experience of being here with your new book?
So as I point out in the book, I'm a little skeptical about whether Bitcoin in particular will survive as a store of value, as a real financial asset. But I think the underlying technology is really very powerful and indeed transformational. So the point I make in the book is that this new technology is providing ways to democratize finance, making basic banking products and services, digital payments available even to low-income households and those who are economically disenfranchised. So I think that can have a very powerful effect. And of course, it's having a very catalytic effect in terms of getting central banks themselves to start thinking about issuing their own digital currencies.
Yeah.
So whatever happens with Bitcoin, the technology is going to have a real legacy.
Yes, CBDC is a very, very prominent topic right now. So there are so many digital assets and cryptocurrencies, emerging all across the world. Do you think it's going to be a good change or a negative change for the economy?
So one thing I ask myself when I consider any asset is whether it serves an intrinsic purpose. Bitcoin in its initial formulation was meant to serve as a trustless medium of exchange. It now seems to have become more a speculative financial asset. But there are other assets that are developing in the crypto world that have more intrinsic value. And I think that's the fundamental issue. It's not just scarcity that is going to generate value, but what the real value proposition is the key question. And there are crypto assets that are coming up, I think, that have that sort of value to them. But ultimately, it's going to depend on how much faith people have in the underlying technology. And of course, the transparency of the technology, I think, is one of its virtues because it makes it easier to maintain that faith and trust.
That's a very valid point. So you're a professor of economics and trade policy at the Cornell University in the US. What do you think is the role of academia in spreading the right kind of awareness about blockchain technology and digital assets?
So even in terms of developing the technology, there is a lot of work going on. Cornell has the initiative on cryptocurrencies, the IC3, where we have some of the world's leading computer scientists, cryptographers, working on many of the foundational aspects of blockchain and all the related technologies. But of course, we economists have a role to play as well in terms of trying to think about what the transformative potential of this technology is in the world of finance. And right now there is a big regulatory pushback from Washington, but also from many other national governments because they're concerned about cryptocurrencies. But I think there needs to be more of a dialogue between the crypto world and governments and regulators, and perhaps we academics can play a role here. But I can tell you that among my students, there is huge enthusiasm for Bitcoin, for blockchain technology, and they all seem very eager to learn about it.
I'm so happy to hear that because I think students really need to be informed about blockchain technology and different digital assets. So my last question to you would be, if there was one takeaway for people seeing you here at CoinGeek New York, what would that be?
It would be that despite whatever skepticism you might have heard from me about the nature of the asset itself, I think this technology is really going to have transformational value, and I think it's going to bring a lot of benefits to the world in terms of making basic banking products and services, digital payments widely accessible. But I think it's important for the crypto community to keep in mind that there are risks that cannot be solved just through technology. So actually getting governments involved might actually help this entire community by providing more legitimacy, but also some regulation that may actually provide more stability to the community. So I think working together with the government may actually be a better idea than trying to resist regulation altogether.
Yes, you made a very good point, and we need more pioneers like you to work with the government to make that happen. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Eswar. I really appreciate it. This is CoinGeek Backstage, Nidhi Arora.
Data is double-edged. Wield it well and build your place in tomorrow. but trust it blindly and risk watching your progress crumble. Because much of the data we rely upon isn't reliable at all. At nChain, we believe in data, but we put no faith in it. Instead, we build tools that enable enterprises to trust the data upon which they rely. nChain, data without question.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Bitcoin 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.